And after Trump threatened a 25% tariff on Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau went down to Mar-a-Lago to speak personally with the president-elect. Here's senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy reporting on how that meeting went.
Tonight we're getting some new details about that Trump-Trudeau dinner from two people who were at the table. We are told that when Trudeau told President-elect Trump that new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy, Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive without ripping off the U.S. to the tune of $100 billion a year, then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but I am really tired of having such a weak prime minister representing us for Canada. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the news that's breaking in regards to Trudeau and his trip to Mar-a-Lago over the Thanksgiving weekend. Now, the main story that's been coming out is about Trudeau crying essentially or whining to Trump about these 25% tariffs that he will be implementing when he gets in power if the border and the drug issue don't get qualmed. Now, Trump said to Trudeau that if he wasn't going to be able to do this, then maybe he should just join America and become the 51st state, as you heard from the opening. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, this was just a cute little joke. And Dominic LeBlanc, who actually was there, was questioned by the media, and this is what he had to say.
Did it seem like a joke to Trump?
Not at all. Not at all. That was not the context at all.
Exactly.
In a three-hour social evening at the president's residence in Florida on a long weekend of American Thanksgiving, the conversation was going to be lighthearted. The president was telling jokes. The president was teasing us. It was, of course, on that issue, in no way a serious comment. We had a discussion on trade issues, on border security that was very productive. But the fact that there's a warm, cordial relationship between the two leaders and the president is able to joke like that, for us was a positive thing.
What exactly did he say? What exactly did he say?
But we don't have a transcript. Nobody, if you look carefully at the picture, nobody had pads or were taking notes. It was a social evening. It wasn't a meeting in a boardroom with 10 bureaucrats keeping notes. It was a social evening. And there were moments where it was entertaining and funny, and there were moments where we were able to do, we think, some good work for Canada.
Now, the media continued asking a whole bunch of the other ministers and MPs about this, yet they just kept falling back on the same answer of, well, they weren't there, they weren't at this dinner, but from what they heard, it was a good time. However, it wasn't just them that heard about this, because multiple outlets have now covered it. Not only have the Americans, which is to be expected, seeing as Trudeau was seeing Trump, but we also have some of the Indian publications that are covering this, putting us under the joke of the day, as well as the Australians covering this.
Trudeau told Trump it would kill Canada's economy, and you won't believe what Trump replied. He said, "Become the 51st state of America and you don't have to pay tariffs." And he did not stop there. Trump said the title of Prime Minister is much better, but Trudeau would still be governor. It's funny enough when you hear it. It's even funnier when you imagine Trump saying it in his typical style, and even more funny when it's in the middle of a serious discussion on tariffs. I bet Trudeau did not like the joke. Reports say he laughed nervously with his aides.
Now, the one positive thing or kudo I would give to Trudeau is that the fact that he actually went down there to meet with Trump. It wasn't over social media. It wasn't a phone call again. He actually, flew down there, spent the weekend there, tried to talk to him man to man, I guess. Didn't really work, it sounds like, because Trump is a bit of a bulldog, probably doesn't really respect Trudeau too much. But now you're starting to see the Liberals utilize this meet and greet as a, I guess, some sort of leverage against the whole other world, because you had Minister Champlain talking about how Trudeau's the first G7 leader to be invited to Mar-a-Lago, and that should set the stage of how important we are to America.
Trump apparently suggested Canada could become the 51st state if we weren't happy with the trade.
I'm proud to be Canadian.
What do you make of that comment, though? Do you think that suggests a very difficult relationship is coming forward with the Trump administration?
I would see that differently. I mean, I've said many times, and you've seen the recent announcement, for example, China limiting the export of critical minerals to the United States. I think more and more our American friends will see Canada as the strategic supplier of choice, whether it's about semiconductors, whether it's about critical minerals, whether it's about energy. I think Canada today, I mean, one thing that we have made clear that our friends down south understand is the integrated nature of our supply chain. And I would say today economic security is national security. So the things that you've said this morning, where China decided to restrict the export of critical minerals to the United States in key sectors, including in defense, just highlight the fact how Canada is essential for the prosperity and the integrated supply chain that we find in the North.
You say our American friends understand that, but he's proposing 25% tariffs. He's missing our sovereignty.
One thing that you should take note is that Prime Minister Trudeau was the first leader of the G7 to be hosted by President Trump. I think that is really significant. That is a testament to the strategic nature of our relationship. I always said we need to move from being just a friendly neighbor of the North to the strategic partner of the 21st century. And I think that meeting highlighted that when President-elect Trump invites Canada, Prime Minister Trudeau as the first leader to go to Mar-a-Lago, I think it sends a big signal to the world that Canada is a strategic partner.
So there you have Minister Squeaky Wheel talking about how great this is, that Trudeau was the first one there. Yet when we look to the Americans, they see this as pretty desperate. As you're going to see with this report with Kevin O'Leary, they talk about how Trump just had to make a social media post, didn't have to go anywhere, and he has Trudeau running to him, flying over to Florida, and essentially begging him not to do this.
So put up or start paying up. Is this how to get deals done as tariff threats get world leaders to the table? Let's get the read from a guy who knows a lot about making deals. Kevin O'Leary, chairman of O'Leary Ventures and Shark Tank investor. Kevin, great to see you. I feel like I see you all the time because you're on my house morning and night. My 9 and 11-year-old totally obsessed. They love to watch you make a deal. So is this proof that this is how you get deals done, Kevin?
Yeah, it's an important development, but you know, these China, Mexico, and Canada are completely different in this respect. We know with certainty we're going into NAFTA 3 negotiations, and Trump is smart about this. He's obviously engaged both leaders in both countries. There are different problems in each place. Canada is a huge trading partner, particularly in energy. A huge percentage of energy imported in the U.S. that gives it energy independence comes from Canada, particularly from Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia. So that's part of the negotiation of NAFTA 3. I think he's positioning. Now, the complexity in the Canadian situation is this. Justin Trudeau is wildly unpopular in Canada. He's been there a long time in the parliamentary system, just like Britain. If you have a prime minister that can't deliver a majority mandate, it's like a piece of old moldy cheese in the fridge. You want to get rid of it. And that's what's going on within his own party. He's surviving these votes. And in fact, there's another one today at 4 o'clock that he'll probably survive. This is a non-confidence vote. That's how they do it in the parliamentary system, to throw the bum out, so to speak. But he won't lose that till around February 15th. So my point is, it won't be Trudeau negotiating with Trump when he's finally in power after January 20th. It's going to be someone else. And I think Trump is smart enough to. So this is a lot of showboating right now, but it's just showing you how powerful he is. Just to put it out, this is policy by social media, and he's got leaders flying to Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't have to go anywhere. He doesn't have to go to the cold weather. He just stays in Florida. Interesting.
Well, we know he's not shy about getting on a plane to go get something done, but will he need to is a big question, of course. This is Canada, Kevin. We're already seeing he's bolstering their border security after these Trump talks. This is according to Canadian officials, so perhaps the preparations are already underway.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Canada should do that for both directions. They should have a secure border. Every country should have that, and I'm sure Trudeau can guarantee him he'll do something. But what's going on, there's a bit of a war in Canada. For example, Alberta wants to be part of this reigniting the Keystone pipeline, and of course Trump needs Alberta to do that. That's where the oil originates from. So already that premier is talking about boots on the ground in the Alberta North Dakota border. All of that stuff is happening simultaneously. There's so many moving parts. I absolutely love it. But at the end of the day, when you've got two partners with so much commerce, so much invested in economics with each other, they're going to work it out. They're going to figure it out. But it may be different players than what you saw over the weekend in Mar-a-Lago. That's all I'm saying.
And as Canadians, this is all we can hope and pray for, that Pierre becomes the new leader and he's the actual one doing these deals with Trump, because he most likely will get things done way easier and way quicker than Trudeau. But yeah, to Kevin's point, any country should want their border secure. It shouldn't be Trump that's pushing us to increase the security. And as they stated, there's already talks about now implementing new drones to look over the area, getting more CBSA, border security agents back into the front lines. And this isn't something that should have been prompted by Trump. Trudeau should have invested in this. He should have put forward this because, again, it's the safety of our country. But hey, that's just my opinion on the whole situation. Let me know what you guys think about all this. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.